everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
Fuego here.
And this is your horror show news,
Boozeless.
Yeah. This is the Boozeless news, you guys. And why is it Boozeless? It's because we just took part of in the 24-hour creepy channel crawl put together by the Horror Addicts for the hashtag SaveHorrorTube movement.
Yeah, shout out to Gory Bee and Danny Nightmare, obviously.
Exactly.
For the organization.
Yep. So we got to do 4 different hour-long streams within that 24-hour period. So the first 3 of them were at like 9 at night, 11 at night, and 12 at, or no, it was 10, 12, and 1. So needless to say, we were all having some drinks to have some fun the whole time. So we can't really, we're filming this at 2 p.m. the next day. It is not time to jump back into the booze
and
right
it's not
now.
going to be live, obviously, either, because we didn't want to disrupt the stream. So
yeah, because the 24-hour crawl is still going for another 3.5 hours, and we did not want to pull any audience away. So, not that we would, just saying. But yeah, so you guys are seeing this after 6 p.m. Maybe I'll put it up right at 6. But yeah, so that's what we're doing, you guys. We're doing it old school. So Fuego, why don't you kick it off with the first story?
Which is a ginormous story. This is one that I am so extremely excited about because since 1979, as it says right there, Fangoria was basically the name in horror. It was a print publication. It spawned a couple other magazines, including Starlog and Gore Zone. And until just the death of print, I mean, even after so many magazines were going under, Fangoria somehow soldiered on, but unfortunately they bit the dust. It was a little over a year ago, or maybe even less than that, but the crappy thing is that there were a lot of people who paid for subscriptions that did not get magazines, and there was a lot of just negativity about that, but a new group called Cinestate, which is based in Texas, has actually stepped in and completed the purchase to acquire all of the IP, all of the back issues, all the stuff from the Fangoria huge warehouse that they have in New York. So they basically have purchased everything Fangoria. They are relaunching the publication. It's at least for now going to be coming out. I think they said only a few times a year, with the first issue to hit in sometime in the fall. But the really exciting thing is that they are launching the brand even more so with all kinds of other content. They're going to start releasing music again. They're going to start releasing Fangoria novels. They are going full forthright with it, and they have some really interesting people involved in the process. The founder of Cinestate is a guy named Dallas Sonier, and he's a producer of stuff like Brawl and Cell Block 99, the upcoming new Puppet Master film, and so he's going to be just reaching for some of his friends at Alamo Drafthouse that did Birth Movies Death. Also some people from Shudder are going to be assisting, and they have confirmed contributions from Rebecca McKendry, who used to work with Fangoria, who I was on a panel with a couple years ago with Monty Yazzie. She works at Blumhouse currently, so she'll be moonlighting, which is cool, as well as S. Craig Zahler, who is the director of Brawl and Cell Block 99, Bone Tomahawk, and the upcoming Puppet Master. There's a whole ton of other talent involved, so this is like full steam ahead, trying to repair the brand and bring back one that was pretty much the most noteworthy name from my experience when I was growing up.
Yeah, it was for me too, but I mean, they started to lose me when they had like $8 magazines, and it's like that. Yeah. You know, I understand that print is tough right now, but your price point is too high. It's just too high.
Very much so, and the fact that people were paying at that price for subscriptions, which were probably vastly inflated even compared to that, and so I guess they're saying that people who used to subscribe, who didn't get all of their fulfillment or whatever, they're going to give them a free annual subscription. So they're really trying once again to repair the brand name and make the scorned fans happy. Wow. It's an uphill battle, obviously, but I'm just happy to see them coming back.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it'll be nice. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, fingers firmly crossed. Right? So, you want to jump to the next story then, Leanne? This is one that Cecil actually consulted his X-Men expert buddy in Cali about, because this is a story that neither of us were familiar with. THR reported a few weeks ago that there was a mystery new dark X-Men film which was in development, and so it's going to be more horror-based and along the lines of the New Mutants approach, which was delayed until next year, unfortunately. But it just came out this week that they found out that the codenamed 143 is actually going to be not only directed by Tim Miller, written by Brian Michael Bendis, but it's going to be the first solo Kitty Pryde story from the Uncanny X-Men 143, where this demon alien thing comes to the mansion and she has to basically fight it herself. The art that we saw looked pretty rad. I know you're not a big Claremont fan,
I
so
hate Claremont so much. Oh my god!
But does this idea interest you though? Another
this
dark
idea
X-Men movie.
This idea interests me. Although it's so weird that they're making a dark X-Men movie with one of the most notoriously light X-Men characters. Because Kitty has always been.
Well, she is light, right? Because she doesn't she become transparent?
Yeah. Well, she's not transparent. She's intangible.
No,
that's why she's walking. Or actually, I didn't pull up that picture. Yeah, she can phase through walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So but she's usually so cheerful and like even like you said, we consulted my buddy Josh out in California, and he said that she is what made the X-Men a family.
Yeah, he raised a good point, honestly, because there was a lot of insight I was unaware of. But
right, so it's interesting to have such a light character be the focus of a dark X-Men movie, but I definitely have faith in Tim Miller after Deadpool.
How about Brian Michael Bendis?
I love Brian Michael Bendis.
Did he do the Something Bullets story, or is that somebody else?
No, Brian Michael Bendis created Powers, which was an Amazon show for 2 seasons. He also created. He's done a lot of Marvel work. He actually just signed a deal to go over to DC finally. But
I heard about that. Yeah, he's going to be writing Superman, right?
I don't know what he's writing. Actually, I haven't heard. But he has written a lot. He created Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
And so he has done.
Was that the Miles Morales? Or was that,
yeah, he did create Miles Morales as well. But he created the alternate universe version of Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe. And then he also took over the main Marvel U and was the head of a bunch of the huge events that they did.
That's why a lot of people were just like, wow, he's defecting to DC. I heard chatter from all my comic reader buddies, and they were just like, damn.
I like his writing style. I just didn't like the characters he was writing. So I couldn't get into it. But he's done a lot of really good stuff, even in the independent realm. I mean, it's exciting for me to see that he and Tim Miller are behind this, because I know how much he loves Kitty Pryde, Brian Michael Bendis. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting counterbalance of the fact that she is so light and all that other stuff with such a terrifying enemy to face, maybe. So who knows? Cool dichotomy. The character was previously portrayed by Ellen Page. We don't know if she's going to be returning or they're going to recast or what. I'm still honestly curious about how this will be potentially affected once the Disney deal, provided it does actually go through, because it's still not completely confirmed. They're trying to work out all the kinks, and they're saying that might not even happen for another year and a half or something. But nonetheless, I think the pairing is cool, and the story sounds interesting to me. I want to go and read that one shot after Josh talked so adamantly about it. So, this is one for you. This next story, sir, number 3. So we finally have a writer and a director confirmed for this Blumhouse Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't.
What do you think about this guy being involved?
I think it's a bad idea. This guy, okay, so Chris Columbus, who is the guy behind the first 2 Harry Potter films.
Yeah, he also wrote Goonies and Gremlins and directed Adventures in Babysitting.
See, that's the thing, he could write.
His track record was better in the 80s and early 90s with, he did the Home Alone movies also. So.
Well, I mean, I like the first 2 Harry Potter movies well and fine, but they were so family, so straight, straight pitch down the middle that it just, I was, I don't know, him behind Five Nights at Freddy's, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Feels very family friendly, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be. Five Nights at Freddy's, the reason kids like it is because they're so freaky. I mean, look at these things.
No, they're terrifying looking, man.
But I mean, this is granted from a later game, but still, it's what it's what they evolve into. These are the nightmare versions of Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica.
Yeah.
So,
Chica.
Yeah, I love the idea of the movie, so I'm going to be excited to watch it, although my excitement will be fairly tempered if it is Chris Columbus that's going to be the one doing it. That's a bummer.
He's been confirmed to be writing and directing it. Presumably he came in with a pitch that Jason Blum was like, okay, we're going to give it to you. Let's let you roll with it. And I honestly do trust the judgment of that studio, but on paper, something may sound great, and then when you see the finished product, you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Pixels was so bad.
Pixels was bad. He did that too?
That was his most recent directorial effort, was Pixels.
No. God damn it, why?
Yeah, and he
They're like, video games. Give it to the guy that made the video game movie last.
Yeah, and let's put Adam Sandler in there, and the little dwarfy dude from that movie, dude. I don't even want to talk about it. Remember that?
Don't. Let's just move beyond it.
All right, let's move to our next story. And this is going to be a briefer one, but this excites me for the sheer fact that I really enjoyed Kevin Williamson's work in the late 90s. I thought The Faculty is tremendously underrated. Scream was obviously great. I was not a fan of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I know I know a lot of people enjoy it. But nonetheless, he has signed a new first look deal with Miramax Films because they want him to start developing genre titles for them. So we're not sure if he's just going to be writing or EPing or whatever it may be. But he's been involved mostly in television for the last decade or so, and so just a return to screenwriting, or at least assisting with the process. I know Miramax has always been more known for like art films and stuff like that, so the fact that they're probably looking at the Blumhouse model and just thinking to themselves, this could be viable, profitable. I mean, you obviously enjoyed this guy's stuff when he was actually writing horror, right?
Yeah, I absolutely did. So this is, I wouldn't call it exciting, but it's interesting.
No, it's definitely interesting. And yeah, I mean, once again, horror is very viable when made on a small budget and with, at least if it's good and effective and marketed well. So, I mean, I think Miramax has the arms for that, and this was a good choice on their part to go with him. This is kind of more of a filler story, guys. We're just kind of prepping things in the middle.
Yeah.
Same with story number 5 here, is the fact that in a recent Reddit AMA, Alex Garland, who has the upcoming, what the hell is it called? Annihilation, I want to say? Yeah, coming out February 23rd. He's a hell of a writer, in my opinion. He wrote Dread, he wrote Sunshine, he wrote 28 Days Later before he decided to finally write and direct something, which was Ex Machina. I think Annihilation looks badass, despite the fact that one of our viewers in the live stream last night, was it Chase or was it... Shit, there was somebody who was just like, oh, it looks like dog crap, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what Kool-Aid they're drinking or something, but the fact that he expressed interest when questioner asked, they're like, so if you could do any comic book film, what would you like to adapt? And he mentioned that he has been in discussions for a Swamp Thing movie, and that excites me. I would love to see it be R-rated. I don't think either the Wes Craven or the Return of Swamp Thing, they were both like PG-13.
I don't remember. I never actually saw those. So,
really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I keep, it's the one Wes Craven movie that I don't think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
So.
I don't remember liking the Craven original, but the Return to Swamp Thing was like bonkers crazy, and that one I actually affectionately remember. I think that was one with Heather Locklear, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there was also a Swamp Thing TV series, but basically a lot of people don't think that the character has been done justice, and it's one, especially after the Alan Moore run, which is just supremely beloved by a lot of people, where they kind of change the mythos of the character a little bit. Would you be down for another take on Swamp Thing, especially with
absolutely.
this guy behind it?
Well, and I've read a lot of the more recent Swamp Thing stuff.
Which
I mean,
I have
not within the past year, but I was reading it for a while when they did the New 52.
Was Scott Smith writing it?
No, it was
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
I think he was writing it for a moment.
He might have been. Yeah, I can't remember, but I know Jeff Lemire wrote some Animal Man, and they crossed over. There was a really cool crossover between Animal Man and Swamp Thing that had to do with the red versus the green, and it was just really, really awesome stuff. Because there was it was such a creature book, you know. I don't
Which
know.
Obviously is
I didn't
up your alley.
Yeah, but I read the
too.
original Alan Moore stuff that gets so lauded as some of the best stuff ever. I got the first trade and I tried it and I couldn't get into it, so I haven't even read like the pivotal issue where he comes to Gotham or anything like that.
Yeah, he's a very heady writer, Alan Moore. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be excited to see a new Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely, especially with Garland behind it. Once again, Annihilation looks awesome, and this is a cool prospect, provided it's not just a pipe dream, because, you know, there was supposed to be a Justice League Dark film, and that didn't end up happening. Obviously, Swamp Thing is a noteworthy member in that crew. But now we're going to jump on to a couple delays that were announced this past week, and I find it interesting that both of these are releasing a week apart from each other in September now. It makes me wonder if somebody's going to shift again. They've already delayed The Predator like 3 times now. And apparently the reason it's going from August 3rd to September 14th, September 14th being the new release for The Predators, there's apparently going to be 3 weeks of reshoots in March. And so I guess reshoots are pretty much a standard thing in the industry in this day and age, but I mean, the cast alone for this sounds awesome. I mean, you've got Keegan-Michael Key, you've got Jake Busey, you've got Thomas Jane, Olivia Munn, Edward James Olmos. I mean, it's a stacked cast, and it's with Fred Dekker writing and with Shane Black directing. It's one of my most anticipated of the year. There's a lot of speculation that they're trying to go for that It sweet spot, you know, how It released in September of last year, and that there was pretty much no competition at all, as opposed to coming out at the end of the summer, where there might be a little bit more that would take some attention away from it. But the one that I'm at least a little more confused by is the fact that The Nun has moved from July 13th all the way to September 7th, a week before The Predator comes out. That's a much bigger delay, and there's no justification for why. Perhaps they're thinking the same thing. Oh, it came out in September and crushed, so maybe we can have a successful weekend. I don't know.
That's such misguided thinking.
I think so too.
It was its own phenomenon. Everyone was anticipating it.
It had a different force behind it too.
There's no correlation between what it did in September and what these two can do in September.
Yeah, honestly, I think The Nun would be better served in October, personally.
I think Predator would be better served in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
summer
supposed to
action
be at
movie.
the beginning of August, so
yeah,
that was our thinking, and I'm anticipating both of these, but obviously much more so the Predator. Although I do really like Taissa Farmiga from American Horror Story and from The Final Girl. She's starring in The Nun, so that intrigues me greatly. So I'm excited for both of these movies, but I'm kind of scratching my heads about them releasing so closely and just presumably thinking that they're going to recapture the magic that was the phenomenon of it. So seventh story, we're almost done, guys. Thanks for bearing with us as we're slowly moseying through. This is an announcement that, while I think you and I both agreed that we loved the fake teaser trailer thing that was a couple minutes for Kung Fury, the short film didn't really sustain it as well. It was almost like the joke ran out.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
And there had been rumblings for a while that they were trying to get a feature off the ground. Apparently it's happened, and it was announced this past week that it's going to start filming in the summer. David Sandberg, who starred in it as Kung Fury and wrote and directed it, is returning to write and direct this, but he's assembling Hollywood talent this time. So beyond the returning Hasselhoff, who's going to be in this, it's apparently the lead actor and star of this film is going to be Michael Fassbender, of all people, which, I mean, he's a good ensemble piece, but we've never really seen him crush as a lead in a film. So, I mean, and plus he was in that, I haven't seen it, but I heard how terrible it was, the video game movie. What the hell was it called? The one that he starred in.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, correct. Yeah. But I just don't know if they can sustain this for a full feature film. I mean, maybe if they take more of the Turbo Kid approach, which had a similar sensibility, but it just all depends. They've also cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as the President of the United States, which makes me laugh too. So I don't know, man. It's still going to take place in 1985, and they're saying it's not going to be a remake of the original story. It is, in fact, going to be a sequel to the short film. So, thoughts on this? Is this a whack-tastic idea?
I know it's got its audience. I know there's a lot of people that really like it, in spite of it being a little too long, in our opinion. It was only a half an hour, but it was still
It felt long.
It felt long because there was no real good through line. It was literally just a trailer that they lengthened, and this is, I guess, if it's going to be an actual movie, with Hollywood sort of production value and stuff, I think I could be more open to it in a long form than just an hour and a half long trailer. That would be a bummer.
Yeah. Well, here's to hoping that they can sustain for maybe 80 or 90 minutes or something and have it be fun. So the last story is, once again, just a little piece of information that we want to throw out to you guys, and that is the fact that on the heels of its Oscar nomination, on the fact of Black History Month as well, here in February, we want to give a shout out to Jordan Peele, congratulate the guy on his nomination for writing, directing, and for Best Picture for Get Out. And if you guys see this before Monday, President's Day, February 19th, if you go to an AMC theater, you can apparently see Get Out for free. I don't even know if they're going to be IDing fools. They'll just let you right in. I don't know. But, I think that's an interesting thank you, and Peele was behind this, and he orchestrated it with AMC. So if you have an AMC theater near you guys, and you have seen it already, or if you didn't get the chance to check it out, it's a pretty damn good movie. I can't say it ended up being one of my absolute favorites of the year, but it was up there, and it's very quality, and as far as, a feature debut from a writer-director, very, very impressive. Has Get Out, does it last and still reverberate with you?
It waned a little bit for me. I was really high on it at first, but it just, when I compiled my list at the end of last year, it just didn't end up making the cut for me either. That's why it was an honorable mention, but it's still really good, a really good movie, and I'm really happy that Peele got that kind of success, because I guess that means we'll get more good original stuff. So that's exciting.
And then hopefully from him too. So once again, guys, if you didn't get the chance to check out Get Out, get your ass out and do that. And gracias once again for tuning in for this slightly shortened and boozeless version of the news. I presume we will be returning to form next week.
I imagine so.
Yeah. But right on, man. This was fun still. I'm glad we got to discuss
Yep.
stuff and inform y'all proper.
And we'll be doing the pictures probably from here on out if we can, now that we've got it straightened out. But
We set a standard now.
exactly. If you guys didn't get to see the 24-hour creepy crawl, make sure you go back and watch that. You can go to our episode on the channel, and then you can link to all the other episodes as well. Again, we were on 4 different hours. Our hour, we were on the Horror Miser Monty G's hour, we were on Horror Show Entertainment's hour, and we were on Channel Sundown's hour.
Yeah.
So
I still feel exhausted today.
me too. That's part of why the no booze. So
Yeah.
thanks very much for watching, you guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared!